Okay, guys, sorry about that. I just wanted to take a couple more minutes to just finish the two societies we were addressing, Spain and then also the Holy Roman Empire. The thing about the Spanish Inquisition, and this also happens not only in Spain, Spain will become involved in Portugal, and we also see an Inquisition against Jews in particular in Portugal. But we see some of the horrific actions, against Jews in Spain lead to some really significant anti-Semitism that's just really important to be aware of. So despite some of the wealth of Ferdinand and Isabella, we see Jews in the society often segregated and wearing stars. So there actually is identification at this time of people being noted if they are not Roman Catholic. The other thing is there's a great deal of atrocities as well as migration. So we see a good number of the Jews from Spain being led out of Spain, oftentimes going to places like Northern Africa. And this becomes really important because not only does this have a huge impact on Spain, a lot of the people who were leaving ultimately were taking some of the skills and some of the wealth of the society, but this also leads to like a whole new diaspora for Jews that are coming from Spain. And previously in the under the Islamic Empire, there had been some times where there was a great deal of diversity in Spain, and we saw a great deal of various religions working together, especially in areas of intellectual pursuits. The version of the new monarchs that we see with Spain will largely, completely pull that apart. So political unity in Spain is very equal to religious unity. When we look at this map, this is actually the Holy Roman Empire. So one of the places where there is going to be a quote-unquote new monarch, Charles V, who's leading the Holy Roman Empire, but his efforts are never really truly successful. If you're interested in kind of doing somebody whose goal is to really try to keep the Holy Roman Empire together as a political unit and also together as a Roman Catholic state, Charles V will spend most of his life from an early age as a ruler to try to maintain kind of being the centralized monarch. And he is a strong ruler. There's about 300 semi-autonomous little princedoms or principalities rather in the Holy Roman Empire. Most of the time from the 1300s, the ruler is of the Habsburg family, and Charles V is not going to be an exception to that. The Habsburg families ruled out of Austria, and oftentimes they were routinely elected the emperor of the HRE, or the Holy Roman Empire. The election system is a little bit complicated. There are some segments of the Holy Roman Empire that basically get to vote for the ruler. A lot of the segments do not. So there's kind of this, very biased way in which the heir is, the ruler is picked. The decentralization of the Holy Roman Empire, because this is like a new monarch that is not really successful in centralizing the state, some of the things we don't see in the Holy Roman Empire that we see in the other places include levying taxes. You don't see that in a wide place. You don't see a lot of standing armies that are strong. Doesn't mean Charles V is not going to go toe-to-toe with other leaders. He does, and we see kind of a huge, maybe kind of conflict between Francis I, Charles V, and Henry VIII. There's a variety of ways in which these leaders will go toe-to-toe, but in the Holy Roman Empire, some of that will become more challenging. No ability to curtail local nobility, So that becomes like very difficult. And then there's a lot of infighting, right? In the Holy Roman Empire, there's still a lot of noble power. This is Charles V. He has the infamous Habsburg jaw. There was a lot of intermarriage in this family, so there's always kind of a representation of the Habsburg jaw. But his arch rival was Francis I. They actually fought all the time, especially over some of the city-states in Italy. Charles V, in terms of land, is an incredibly powerful ruler. He is at an early age, as being the grandson of Isabella and Ferdinand, he actually becomes the king of Spain, and then also acquires being the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. So his land is going to be great, but he inevitably does not have a lot of power. On the ground here, everything that's pink and gold and green is either inherited by Charles V, gained by Charles V, or favorable to Charles V. So it's really only the territories in blue that are oppositional to him. And the big one is notably France, also the Ottoman Empire, but also notably France. So France kind of sits in the middle of what is kind of a hodgepodge of a Roman Empire, a Holy Roman Empire, and also Spain and Portugal, which are kind of on the side here. And Charles V is leading here and also leading here. So he has some huge advantages. And of course, this is the reason why Francis I is opposing Charles V. So take one of those particular casts of characters. They're noted on